Okay, day 4. Day 26 more to go. Where am I? Yeah. Okay, so let's start with day 4. Choose the number sentence that means two more. Two more. So 2 more means 2. 2 means 2. More means plus. Then 2 times a number. Is there anything that looks like that? Well, anything that has a plus sign. This doesn't have a plus sign. This doesn't have a plus sign. This doesn't have a plus sign. So by default, it's A. And they look the same. Next one. Bob is making long-distance phone calls from Junction to Springs. The telephone company says the call will cost $1.25 for the first minute and 75 cents for each additional minute. If Bob and his friend talk for N minutes, how much will the call cost? Well, it's definitely going to cost them $1.25 for the first minute. So no matter what, first minute, they talk and he pays $1.25 plus the second minute and the third and the fourth and the fifth. Every minute after that, it's going to be 75 cents times, what do you call, however much he talks. Is there anything that looks like this? So 125 plus 0.75 m, or even 0.75 m plus 1.25. The order really doesn't matter. No, because this has an m in the wrong place. No, I don't know what the subtraction means. I don't know what that means. And ta-da! Pat cleans windows during the summer. He charges $50 per house and additional $5 per window. So just to show up to your house, he's gonna ask you for $50 plus $5 per window. $5 for each window. So here is my expression. Which expression represents how much Pat would charge to clean X windows at one house. So $50, he comes to your house, cleans, and just come to your house, and then $5 per window, or X, 5W, 5X, 50 plus 5X, and we have a winner here. 7 less than the product. Product means I'm going to multiply two things. In this case, I'm multiplying 2 and a number. Less is a turnaround word, so we're going to 2n minus 7. Mike has X baseball cards. Tyrone has 3 times as many baseball cards as, so let me write Mike over here. Mike has this many baseball cards. Tyrone has 3 times whatever Mike says. So if Mike has X, Tyrone has 3X. Frank has a total of 20 baseball cards. Which expression represents how many cards they have in all? Well, they have 20 plus 3x plus x, right? 20 plus 3x plus x. We can combine like terms here and write 20 plus 4x. So your multiple choice is either going to look like this or like this. And we have x plus 3x plus 20, which is exactly here. This one is no, this one is no, and this one has a minus. Nope, so that's the correct one. 7. Kelly ran 3 miles fewer than 3 miles fewer than twice as far as Jim. Okay, so let's write Jim. Jim ran this many miles. And miles. Kelly, she ran 3 miles fewer. 3 is 3. Fewer than means minus. Twice as far as Jim. 2 times, and how many did Jim run? 2n. Now that fewer than is a turnaround word, so this becomes 2n minus 3. Nope. Winner. If x equals -7, then negative minus x equals, so this is just a simple substitution, right? So here's my expression, -x, and it says that x equals -7, so let's replace. So this minus sign is already there, so I'm going to replace. I'm going to take the x out and put -7 instead. And because we can leave it like this, but it's super ugly. A negative and negative is a positive, or just +7, or just 7. The final answer should be 7. The expression is shown below. What is the value of the expression when x equals -2? Okay, so let's replace the x with -2. minus 12. Positive times a negative is negative. It's negative 10 minus 12. Use your calculators. We'll change this to addition. And it becomes negative 22. Twice the product, 2 times the product of t and m. So I'm going to multiply t and m. So 2 times t times m. Right? It's all multiplying. Even if you put this in parentheses, really, it's not going to make a difference. So it's twice, 2 times the product, the answer of t times m. So you multiply t times m, find the answer, multiply by 2. And that is here. Why are these too easy? 9. Simplify the expression. So, long expression. So let's do the distributive property over here. Right? So anytime you have a parentheses, you should take care of that. But before we do that, I'm just going to change the 3 squared here to 9. Okay. So 3a times 15 is 45a. 3a times 6, they're both positive, by the way, so it's plus 18a. Right? The a don't throw the 8 out. And 3a times, instead of 3 squared is 9, 3a times 9. 3 times 9 is 27. Oh, sorry. Positive times a negative is a negative. 3 times 9 is 27. And don't forget that we still have an a there. And then plus, I'm going to multiply 7a times 8 over 4. Well, it's positive times a positive, so the sign is positive. 7 times, and 8 over 4, let's change 8 over 4 to 2. Right? And 7a times 2 is 14a. Still not done. Can we combine? Actually, they're all a, so we can combine the whole thing. 45, let's do these two. 45 plus 18 is 63a, right? Minus 27a plus 14a. 63 minus 27, I don't know. 13 minus 7 is 6. 5 minus 2 is 3. 36a. And then plus 14a, they're both positive, so that's just going to give us 50a. Not that bad. Simplify. Okay, so again, we have to take care of distributive property. So 5b, it's a negative times a positive, which is negative. 2 times 7 is 14. Negative times a negative is, again, it's a positive. So 2 times b is just 2b. Combining like terms, yes, so I can combine this guy here and plus 2b. 5b plus 2b is 7b minus 14. Movie tickets cost $4 for children and $6 for adults. Which equation describes the cost for children and tickets and the adults? So the children is $4 times C for every child that comes. And the adults is $6 per tickets times, and what are we using for adults? D. So if I find out how many children are coming, I can multiply by 4. If I find out how many adults are coming, I can multiply by 6, and then I can calculate that. And calculate this, and then add them both. So it's 4c plus 6d. Right here. 14. Okay, use exponents, right? So x times y times y times y. So again, exponent is just repeated multiplication, right? So what do we have here? X times x, which is x to the second power. Y times y times y, so it's the same y times to the 4th power. And 2/3 times 2/3, a shorter way of writing that is 2/3 to the 2nd power. Is there anything that looks like this? No. Well, using exponents, right? So I don't know what this 4/3 come from. Garbage. 4/9, garbage. It's either A or B. So it's x to the 2nd and y to the 4th. So definitely here. I don't know what's going on here, so that's also garbage. What's the simplified form of this expression? Let's do the distributive property. 4x times 2x is 8x. They're both positive. 4 times negative 5, it's negative 20y. And then minus 3x. Is there anything I can combine? Yes, this guy. And careful, it's minus 3x, right? So 8x minus 3x is 5x minus 20y. Is there anything that looks like that? Yes, there is. That'll do. 15. What's the value of that when x equals negative 3 and y equals 7? So there's some substitution here. So what I would suggest you do here, instead of substituting right away, is simplify this mess. Let's see if we can make that a little small. So negative 2, parentheses x. So let's use the distributive property here. That's negative 2, right? Minus 2 and x, so it's minus 2x. And then negative minus 2 and minus y, it's going to give me positive 2y. Again, now there's a second distributed property, so we're going to go here like this. Negative 2 and x is negative 2x. Negative and a negative is going to be positive, so 2 times 2 is 4x. And a negative times a positive is a negative, and this is an x, by the way. And that's going to be 2 times 2 is negative 4y. I can still simplify even more. I can combine these two, right? Negative 2x is 4x. There's more positive, so the answer is going to be 2x minus 4y. So now I'll substitute. So instead of the x, I'm going to put negative 3, so it's 2 times negative 3 minus 4 times, and the y is 7, so much easier to substitute now. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and then minus, and 4 times 7 is 28. So if I change this, this becomes all negatives, right? A bunch of negatives getting together, so it's going to be negative 34. And if you can sort of see it, letter B. Okay. 16. Again, same thing. We want to replace the x with negative 5. So it's 2 times negative 5 to the third power minus 10. 2 times negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. So negative times a negative times a negative. It's going to be a negative, right? And that's going to be 125. So that equals negative 125 minus 10. 2 times negative 125 is negative 250 minus 10. And negative 250 minus 10 is just negative 260. Simplify this thing here. Distributed property twice. 6 times a, 6a. 6 times negative 2b is negative 12b. Positive and positive, so 3 times 4 is plus 12a. And then positive 3 and positive b is 3 times b, which is 3b. Combine like terms, this guy and the plus 12a, which is 18a. And negative 12b plus 3b, there's more negatives, and there is, so it's going to be 18a minus 9b, which is C. 17. Here's the formula for boiling water to approximate the boiling point of water, B in degrees Fahrenheit at certain altitudes, right? So it definitely, the water boils at different temperatures depending on altitude. So here it says if you are at 4,500 feet above sea level, what would be the temperature of the boiling water? So B equals, and we're just going to write all this stuff down, minus 0.9, and the altitude is here, A. So we're going to replace that A with 4,500 minus 1,000. 5,000. So not that difficult at all. So one thing we're going to do is simplify this here, this parentheses. 4,500 minus 1,000 is 3,500, which you're going to divide by 5,000, right? So cross those zeros out. And you got 35 divided by 50, which is 0.70. So I'm going to rewrite this as 210 minus 210.2 minus 0.9, and everything inside this parentheses changes to 0.7. Now look how simple that is. So B equals 210.2 minus and 0.7 times 0.9 equals 6.0. 0.7 times 0.9 equals 0.63. 63. And if you subtract that, 210.2 minus 0.63, it's going to be 209.57 degrees. Number 20. Oh, let me do 18. At her job, Alexa is paid $12 per hour when she drives to work. She also is paid an additional 32.5 cents per mile. Okay, the expression below can be used to find the amount she's paid in dollars when she works for H hours and drive N miles. in her car. How much is Alexa paid on the day when she works 3.5 hours? So remember, so it's 12 times, we're going to multiply how many hours did she work? 3.5, and I'm just going to write it as a decimal. Plus, every mile that she gets this much, I guess, for gas compensation. And how many miles did she drove? She drove 218 miles. Okay, it's not much of a challenge here. Times 3.5, so this is $42. She's gonna get paid $42. Plus, and how much she gets for drive? Wow, she drove 218 miles. Times 0.325, and just for driving that amount, she's gonna get $70.85. So if you add both of them, she's going to get $112.85 total. Which expression gives the greatest value if A equals 6 and B equals -10? Oh my god, so A equals 6, so I guess you can... That's going to be a no. I guess do we have to do this? Well, let's do the first one. So it's 6 minus -10 over 8, which is 6, right? I'm doing letter 8, by the way. So 6, negative and negative is going to be positive, and 10 over 6 is simply 1 and 4/6, which gives me 7 and 4/6. So letter A, 7 and 4/6. Letter B, actually letter C, because it's 8 to the second power. Well, actually no. Well, 8 to the second power is 6 to the second power, right? Divided by A, which is 6 again, minus -10, minus -10, right? So it's 36 divided by 6. What's 6 plus 10? 6 plus 10, because this becomes negative and negative becomes positive, right? 16, definitely, that's the value is 2, so that definitely is out. A again is 6, and if we divide by... That doesn't make any sense. A minus 10 again, so we get 6 minus 10, and I'm just going to rewrite this as 6 divided by 6 plus 10, and 6 plus 10 is 16, so that's going to be just a very small number. And this one, A divided by A minus B squared, so A is 6, divided by 6 is 1, minus B squared, which is... We have to write it very carefully. The value of B is -10 to the second power. So that's also not going to be it. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Minus -10 to the second power is -10 times -10, which is 100. Right? So now it becomes 1 minus, so it's -99. So the final answer is actually A. We were right. Numero uno, or number something, 20. So Sheena, okay, so I have to actually read this. The amount of interest Carl will earn on the amount of principal he has in the bank is found by using the formula I equals PRT, where R represents the interest rate, not the T, the time, the money will be in the account. Sheena has twice the amount of money as Carl. So you know what you can do here when they don't give you values? Pick a very nice number, 10. And Sheena has 20 at the same rate. Everything else is the same. So the only difference is that Carl, puts 10 bucks in, and Sheena puts $20 in. The interest rate Sheena earns will be half as much as Carl earns. Well, obviously Sheena is gonna make more. Okay, Sheena has twice the amount of principal in the bank, and everything else is the same. So if this one says Sheena earns, what the interest rate Sheena earns will be half as much. No, she's gonna be more. The interest rate Sheena earns will be 8 times as much. I don't know about that. The interest rate Sheena earns will be 1/8 as much as Carl. No. So we want one that says that Sheena's going to earn definitely more. So A and C says she's going to earn less. So that's not really going to work out. So let's pick something very simple. So let's pretend the interest rate, right? The R is 0.01, actually 0.05, 5% interest, and the time they're going to leave it in the bank is 1 year. So Carl he would deposit $10 at an interest rate of 0.05 and leave it there for 1 year. How much would he make? He would make $0.50. Sheena puts $20, also at interest rate times interest rate of 0.05 times 1 year. 20 times 0.05 times 1 equals 1. So after 1 year, she makes a whole dollar. So how much does Sheena make? At the end of the year, she made twice as much as Carl earned. So this, again, and I put the values over here so that you can know that you can make these values, right? As long as they follow the rules, in which case the rules were that Sheena put twice as much as Carl. Everything else is the same. You could have picked any interest rate. You could have put time, 5 years, 8 years, everything, as long as it was the same for both people. And as long as their money, Sheena had doubled the amount. And you would have been fine. And you would have obviously calculated and seen that D would have been your answer of choice. Okay, so this is day, I have no idea, 4. Please, no. Oh no.